Michelle, we are in week 4 of the college football season, but this is the first weekend we're going to have some SEC action. Let's talk about the defending national champions, LSU, making their season opener against Mississippi State. What should we expect from this team that lost a lot of talent to the NFL?
Well, just this week, LSU coach Ed Orgeron named Junior Miles Brennan as the starting quarterback this year. He's taking over for Joe Burrow. There is some speculation that he might be even better than Joe Burrow, but that seems really premature at this point just because we don't know necessarily what to expect from him. And Burrow left some really big shoes to fill when, you're throwing, your completion percentage is higher than 75% and you're throwing for 60 touchdowns in a season. That's a lot to take on. So I'll be really curious to see how he plays out in his first SEC game this year.
They're going up against a new coach, Mike Leach. He's taken over. And how big is it to have the national champions as your first game of the year?
I mean, that's a really big deal. And it could be intimidating. I don't see Mike Leach as being the kind of person that's intimidated by something like that. But it will be really interesting, I think, to see if Mississippi State in just a few months is already a newer version of Washington State's high-powered air raid offense. How will LSU defend that, right? LSU only returned 5 starters on defense last year, and several other defensive players have decided to opt out. So this game could actually be really interesting, I think.
Last up, let's talk about Alabama. We know last year they didn't have the success they normally had. They didn't make it to the SEC championship game, didn't make it to the college football playoffs. They lost their starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, but they gave Mac Jones, new starting quarterback, kind of a fresh start into the end of the season to carry over now. What are you looking forward to them? Can they get back to their successful ways of the past?
They still have a strong receiving core, and Mac Jones, like you said, is not entering this season without any experience. He took over last season for an injured Tua Tagovailoa and actually led Alabama to a Citrus Bowl win over Michigan. And so he's got a little bit more experience. So I feel like that is a recipe for success at this point, barring any unforeseen circumstances. It seems like Alabama could go back to eventually being the Alabama that we all come to expect.
Yeah, the SEC is playing a 10-game conference-only schedule, and everything starts this weekend for them.